time. And we must work together across the state to be smart and safe and strong as possible. There you go. Smarter, safer, stronger.
And you being a former basketball coach, you're going to think in terms of team sports, right?
Yeah, well, it was cross country and track, but
sorry, cross country.
I'll take basketball.
All right. So
Yeah.
I want to give you.
It's a little more glamorous.
Basketball or track?
Basketball. But.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to give you guys a little quick history of Cybersecurity Awareness Month and how it came about. Bill, did you know? Did you realize that the first Cybersecurity Awareness Month began in 2004? We're talking 20 years ago. Back then, our biggest password problem was remembering it was written, if it was written on a sticky note under our keyboard or stuck to our monitors. It began as a joint initiative between the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and the National Cybersecurity Alliance. How many years have you been involved with Cybersecurity Awareness Month, Bill?
I don't know exactly, but I know in 2004 I probably wasn't the most diligent around cybersecurity. I was a DOL in 2004, and probably thinking at times that cybersecurity was a major pain. So I know my view has certainly changed over the years, not just because I became a CIO, but yeah, I've participated in a lot of these, and a lot of them with you in county government, and I just think it's really important every time we can get together around cybersecurity in this kind of a forum where we have a lot of people engaging. We all can be safer, smarter, and stronger, right? And that's what I found, is that there's a lot of work that goes into putting this on. And I want to thank you, Ralph, and your team for all the work that goes into what everyone is going to experience this week, and our speakers, external speakers as well. It's a great time to learn. The more aware we are, the smarter we are, the stronger we'll be. So I can say my participation has been elevated since 2004, which I don't know that I participated in that first one.
Well, I can state that I wasn't involved in the first year because it was just barely getting going. I think my first year of involvement with Cybersecurity Awareness Month was 2005, so I missed that first year. But you know, it's been a growing event, and I believe it's become valuable over the past 21 years. What started as a modest campaign has grown into a national and even a global effort involving governments, business, education, and the public. Every October, organizations worldwide use this month to spotlight cybersecurity, share knowledge, and strengthen their defenses. And here in Washington, we've taken that call seriously, aligning it with our strategic goals, embedding it into our culture, and putting real events and resources behind it. Before we dive into the events and what you can do, I want to connect to something bigger. Our state's IT strategic plan and the enterprise security strategy. These aren't just documents that sit on a shelf. They set the direction of how we build trust, protect data, and serve the people of Washington State. Some of our highlights are with regard to the IT strategic plan. We have four core strategic goals. Create a government experience that leaves no community behind. From insight to impact, improving lives through the use of data. Relentlessly pursuing relevant technologies to improve services, and transform how we work to enable strategic modernization. There are several underlying guiding principles to this plan, that of security and resilience, putting enterprise first, resident-centered services, and transparency and accountability and collaboration. With regard to the strategic plan, the enterprise IT security strategic plan, we have a vision of zero impact for cyber incidents. It emphasizes earning trust through secure digital services, fostering partnerships and collaboration amongst agencies, and developing a skilled cyber workforce, skilled and resilient cyber workforce. Bill, can you tell me, let's discuss for me, how can Cybersecurity Awareness Month help us meet the goals of these two critical strategic plans?
Well, security and privacy they're horizontal, right? We don't have them specifically as a goal, but they run across all our goals. So that's important to understand. Let's look at goal 1 on the previous slide around the customer experience, which is so important to our state and our residents. Projects like the resident portal and our identity and access management system that we're standing up, and our SAW replacement. Those are projects that are really important to improve the customer experience, reach our residents where they are, whether that's a digital experience or an office. So equity is a pillar and a principle that we have. And, we have to have the necessary security and privacy controls in place. And those are the guardrails that are going to continue to move us forward. So it's very important on goal 1 as we expand our focus on the customer experience. And we have a recent executive order from Governor Ferguson that focuses on that as well. That's very exciting, that security and privacy are always front and center in terms of protecting our residents' data, and also having the right security controls. On the second goal around data, improving lives through data, insight to impact, that's a focus area as well for many agencies in the state. And we're going to be utilizing and sharing our data more often. We're going to be aggregating data within specific domains like our science and our natural resources. And we're going to utilize cloud analytics to gain valuable insights on the effectiveness of our services, which is the improving lives through data. So what we want to do a lot more of is use data to really review and how impactful our services are and make the necessary adjustments. We can't do that without the insights. So the data goal is very important, but with data comes huge responsibility that we secure that data, we classify that data, and we protect that data that our residents entrust us with. The third goal is really around relevant technology, and we can't have any meeting or any engagement without talking about AI, right? And I'm sure there's a session around AI during this month from a speaker. But with AI and other emerging technologies that we really need, that we're going to relentlessly pursue to improve our services, we have to have the right guardrails in place. And with AI, a lot of it is the data that the model is using, or the data that our industry is provided as services. And we need to ensure that we evaluate the risk, we understand the data that will be accessed, and that we have the right guardrails in place for AI as well. We want to encourage innovation, but we want to encourage innovation with the proper foundation and guardrails around that. And the fourth one is really important because it's our workforce training. And I think of things like our cybersecurity awareness training that is so essential for all of our employees in the state. And hopefully this is mandatory and that we're all taking cybersecurity awareness awareness training, because that's what we can do to make sure that we have the right defense. But the more that we invest in training and our workforce around security, privacy, the smarter, safer, and stronger, back to our vision for cybersecurity awareness, for cybersecurity month, the stronger we will be. So there's a lot that this month of focus on cyber can do to really provide a great foundation so we can innovate, so we can move forward with our cybersecurity plan and our IT enterprise strategic goals.
Yep. Our overall goal is to prevent the misuse of data, right?
Yeah.
And such misuse can impact personal financial stability, health information, lead to bad decisions due to false data. So yep. those are all things that we're trying to protect. And it may take a few extra seconds to double click that link, supply an MFA code, or report that weird email. But those seconds could save hours, days, your careers from being derailed due to a breach or an exposure. I want to give
that cyber bits. I'm never going to click on anything Jack Potter sends to me ever again. So
there you go. Good advice. Absolutely good advice. I want to give you a real world example of how fast things can go sideways. And this one is close to home in terms of what's at stake. In May 2023, the city of Dallas was hit by a ransomware group called Royal. Within hours, police, fire, and fire websites went down. 911 dispatchers were forced to take notes by hand. Court systems shut down, and even jail releases were delayed. That wasn't just an IT problem. It was a matter of public safety. It paralyzed several core functions of that municipality's government. The city had to declare a state of emergency, and recovery took weeks. The attackers exploited vulnerabilities in the city's network, the kind of things that seem small until they weren't. Unpatched systems, missed warnings, human error. And the scary part is those vulnerabilities aren't unique to Dallas. Every city, every state, even Washington faces similar risks. Maybe not the same vulnerabilities, but we do have them as well. If left risks if we let our guard down. Bill, hearing about what happened to Dallas, it makes me wonder, is something like that hit Washington? What would the impact be to the state and to our citizens?
I think everyone knows that it's not just a minor inconvenience. When you get a ransomware attack, no matter how small it is, it's catastrophic usually, because there's usually data involved. And if that data is PII or CISO or HIPAA, whatever it may be, that's even a larger, we have to inform people. So when it impacts our services, in other words, we're taking services down, that's where it's catastrophic, because then you're unable to collect revenue, you're unable to provide services to the residents of the state, and we lose public trust. You didn't use the state of Nevada as your example. I think that's almost a better example. State of Nevada had a recent ransomware attack that started as a phishing attack, and all the details there that we're in close contact, and we'll be making sure that whatever occurred there can't occur in the state. But they were down, completely down for 2 weeks at least before they started putting public safety services back online. And really, it could have been prevented, and a lot of these can be prevented. And I think that's the lesson for all of us, right? Is we tend to not think about the impact of such an attack until we are attacked, and then it's like, well, how did this happen? And then when we find out, well, we could have closed those vulnerabilities, or we could have patched those systems, whatever it is. Um, that's difficult to go back and realize that. So I think what we're trying to do here with Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and with our working together with our governance structures and standardizing services, et cetera, is make sure that as much as possible we know where our vulnerabilities are and where our critical and highs are, and that we close those as soon as we can, and we keep our systems patched. That's the lesson, because yes, this could occur in our state, I'm sure. But we need to do everything we can to work together to make sure that we prevent it.
And we also have to remember that vulnerabilities are not always technological. I didn't use the state of Nevada mostly because it's a little too new, and they're still uncovering information about Nevada. But what we understand about Nevada is that, yes, it was a ransomware situation. Yes, it was an unpatched machine, but that unpatched machine was utilized in an improper way that violated a process. Had they stuck with the process, that might not have actually impacted them. It might not have gotten into the system. These are chilling reminders that cybersecurity isn't about convenience. It's about consistency. It's about ensuring that vital services stay functional, including police, fire, courts, utilities, and everything else that we do. Unemployment payments, whatever else, the services of our Department of Health, so on and so forth. That's why we're here today. That's why this month matters. And that's the point. We don't just talk about resilience, we practice it. Cybersecurity Awareness Month provides us with the opportunity to do more than have warnings, than hear warnings. It's our chance to sharpen our skills, your skills, test ourselves, develop habits that protect the services Washington residents rely on. So let's take a look at what's lined up.
Drum roll. Where's our drum roll? Come on.
I don't think we have a lot of sound effects, Bill.
Come on, Rhonda, get a drum roll going here.
Here's some key events.
Month. It's an amazing month of presentation.
I don't know if this will come through, but I can try. How's that? Did that come through?
Well, it was a good attempt.
All right. Well, I tried.
I think we blocked that. We have a security control for your drum rolls.
Well, I tried. So here's some key events WaTech has set up for this month. Chances for all, play and learn, and even have fun. I promise no pop quizzes at the end of this event. So we're going to have some weekly expert presentations. We have 15 weekly expert presentations, including this one. Topics on building cyber resilience, AI, a hacker's guide to incident response. And yes, Bill, there is an AI presentation from our very own Katie Ruckel in our Chief Privacy Office.
That's going to be great. That is going to be great. Yep.
You'll have more opportunities.
You did say security is fun, right? So
well, we do try to make it fun. You'll have more opportunities to watch more Cyber Bites videos. We've got
That
some from the
escape room is fantastic. I've already failed a component of it at least 3 times, so I won't be participating, but it's
Oh, there you
fantastic.
go.
And Jen Smith has done a tremendous job. So building it, I've watched it being built over the last few months, and so I'm very interested to see who wins that escape room.
Me too. Me too. Last year, I believe it was the state auditor's office won, and they've set out a challenge that they plan to win it again.
And what about these cyber bites, snack-sized video content? Are people able to put in their own videos for cyber bites, so we don't have to look at Jack every time, or is this?
I don't think we've actually set that up, but that is a possibility of something that we could pull together. We've pre-recorded them. I believe we did reach out to individuals and agencies and ask them if they wanted to participate. No one did yet, but if anyone has the desire, we're up for it.
Get in there. It'd be nice to get some new, fresh faces in the video.
Absolutely. And every Wednesday, we're hosting our very own Jesse Wachter will be hosting Kahoot quizzes. So that look out for that. Those are fun ways to test your cybersecurity knowledge.
Jesse does a good job with those, and they are fun. They are fun.
And she has a lot of fun doing it. She looks forward to that every year. So
it is a fun week. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun month. By the end, our team is very exhausted, but we put a lot of effort into it, and we want everybody to have a good time and learn from these opportunities.
Yeah, I said week because privacy only gets a week, so I'm wondering why privacy only gets a week, but cybersecurity gets a month.
Well, actually, privacy is only a single day, but our very own Katie Ruckel has expanded it to cover an entire week.
Yeah, okay.
She's taken the opportunity to expand it herself.
That's good.
Here's why I want you especially tuned in. When we focus on security and resilience in the strategic plan, every phishing simulation that you receive, every strong password that you use, every updated device that gets patched helps us deliver on that, on what you're not just following policy. You're actually building trust. You may not see it that way, but any vulnerability that we leave in our system has the potential to reduce our trust from our citizens. The plan's goal for resident-centered digital government, Bill talked a little bit about this earlier, means that your actions help ensure that no community is left behind. Secure access, inclusive services, and the services that people can depend on. The focus on a skilled cyber workforce means we expect more than just reacting. We expect to learn, adapt, and invest in ourselves, in our IT staff, and our security staff. Events this month are part of that training ecosystem. And when strategic modernization is the aim, these aren't one-off trainings. They're building blocks. Let's trust them. Let's treat them as part of that, as the long-term game. Bill, we've talked about the strategic plans, the risks, and why this month. But at the end of the day, people always ask me the same thing. What can I do, and how can each of us get involved, make the real difference this month?
Well, let me tell you a little story here. It's probably off script a little bit, but I think it's relevant for the group here. Governor Inslee was governor for 12 years, 3 terms. He met with all his cabinet, um, in his last week or so. And so I had a chance to meet with him and talk with him. And it was very interesting what he emphasized with me. It wasn't necessarily technology related. What he expressed to me is sincere thanks for the cyber security and privacy programs that we have in the state and how it's protected our residents and protected him as governor. And that was what he thanked me for, but really it's thanking all of you in that that was so important and it was a concern for him as governor. That is something that he said kept him up at night is cyber incidents, cyber attacks, data breaches, etc. So I don't think Governor Ferguson has any less concern than Governor Inslee did. So it's very, very important that the work that you all do, whether you're a cyber professional or not, we're all in this together, and we have an opportunity to be safer, smarter, and stronger, and to protect the residents, our infrastructure, and our residents' data. And that is a high honor and a high goal. But we got to do that together. It's a team sport. And so by attending this week, attending the trainings and the learnings and even the Kahoot quizzes, we all get to share and learn together. Be curious, ask questions, and then go back and educate others in our agencies that may have not been able to make it today. But I think what I've always taken away from this month is just good habits. Strong passwords, MFA, taking those steps that we can take to ensure that we're secure and build that resilience across the state. So those are things that I think of when I think of Cybersecurity Awareness Month. It's very important. It should be fun, but really it brings us all together around a very, very important discipline, which is our cyber habits and how we're protecting the state.
Absolutely. Awareness is not about fear. We're not trying to create fear in you by talking about the vulnerabilities and the issues and giving you the example of Dallas, Texas. It's not about fear or gloom. It's about being active. It's about being aware. It's being able to spot those situations where there is a vulnerability. It's about being smart and occasionally being the person who asks, is this link safe? Looking at that phishing email and wanting to know, is that link safe? Should I really click on that link? Right? So it's time for you to level up out there. Here's your cybersecurity quest. This is the challenge that we want to put to you. Think about how you already align with the strategic plans that we've talked about and where you can contribute. I want you to go out to our website, which you should have access to. There should be a link somewhere, I believe, in this presentation. If not, we can put it in the chat. Pick at least 2 events this month. One that you think will be useful, somewhere you're going to learn from, whether it be AI, whether it's the presentation on working remotely, whether it's the presentation on, there are so many of them, I can't even remember all the topics. We have a presentation from CISA out there. Something that you're going to learn from, and one that you think will be fun and out of your comfort zone. Join a Kahoot quiz, okay? Or watch the Cyber Bites. Watch all of the Cyber Bites. They're all kind of fun. Make one personal commitment, a behavior change. Behavior change that you want to think about, because maybe you're already aware of this, but if you're not, I'm about to tell you that starting January 1st, our passwords will increase from 8 characters to 15. If you're not already aware of that, be aware of it. Your IT teams are aware of it. Your security teams should be aware of it. And think about how you can integrate that password length change into your lives. Okay? It could be something small. It could be learning more about phishing emails. It could be learning more about, why does my computer have to be patched every month? Okay? But pick that personal commitment and do it. Just one. If you want to pick more, hey, that's great. Let's live up to the vision of our IT strategic security plan of zero impacts for cyber events. And the vision from this, our theme from this, let's become smarter, safer, stronger together. Not just words, but in our actions. Thank you, and let's get started. And yes, I might have to cloak myself in a phishing link to fool you at a later date. Bill, I want to thank you for joining us today and for sharing your perspectives. Cybersecurity isn't just about systems; it's about people, it's about process, and about each of us taking small steps that add up to big protections. I know that your leadership helps keep Washington safe and on the right path, and we appreciate you being part of the kickoff.
Well, it is always an honor and a privilege to be here to start with you, Ralph, on Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and all the great folks in the state that have logged into today. And it looks like there's 180, which is fantastic. We're doing great things in this state. We've got a great plan, despite the constraints that we have around budget and other things. And we need to work together to execute on that plan. But our plan can't go forward unless we have a good security privacy foundation, and we have the right approach and the right mindset around the importance of good cyber habits. And it takes all of us on a daily basis to remember that. I've been involved in cyber incidents, and it's not fun at all. And the impact is devastating to the initiatives that we're really trying to move forward with in the state. So let's all take this seriously, have some fun, and enjoy a great month of cybersecurity awareness. Thank you all.
And each and every one of those impacts, we learn something too, though, right? They're not fun, but we always come away with greater knowledge of where we had a gap and we correct that problem, and we're in a situation where we have to find all those vulnerabilities, all those weaknesses, all those holes before the bad guys do, and sometimes we don't, right? So before we close out, let's open it up and see if anybody in the audience has any questions.
Well, the dinging has stopped. Yay.
The dinging has stopped. Well, it's slowed down. I've seen a few in the last couple minutes.
Well, I'll ask a question of you, Ralph.
All right, go ahead.
What have you seen in the state around where local governments and state, where is our greatest vulnerability, do you think, from the OCS's perspective, your perspective as the state CISO? What are some things that we really have to pay attention to? Because, with AI getting smarter, what should Where is our greatest vulnerabilities or risks?
I think our greatest vulnerability is keeping up with the vulnerabilities. As I said before, they're not always technical. And some of the technical ones are easy. We can find a patch, we can change a configuration and close that vulnerability. But a lot of our other vulnerabilities are in our processes that we don't see. As I mentioned, the problem that happened in Nevada was due to somebody violating a process, or maybe they didn't even violate the process, but maybe there should have been more stringency around that process, because if that laptop had never gone into the data center and been plugged directly into the data center's network, and I'm not violating any public information there or any confidentiality because that information has been known, that ransomware may have never gotten into their system. And so we need to look at the processes. We need to train our people, which is what we're doing here, to watch out for those kinds of things. Some other process vulnerabilities that I've seen are what we call a business email compromise. Someone receives an email from somebody that they think is official, it should be official, and asking them to do something. And they may exchange back and forth. They get convinced that this person is who they say they are, and they go ahead and do it. And that's where the violation happens. There needs to be checks and balances around those kinds of requests. I'll give you an example. So somebody who is a director or a deputy director sends an administrative assistant a request to go out and purchase a certain number of gift cards because they want to give them away. And then says, hey, when you get those gift cards, take a picture of them, scrape off the code on the back and take a picture of them. I haven't heard that happening in the state, but it actually happened.
Wait a minute. No, there was text messages sent to WaTech employees to buy gift cards for me.
Oh, right. That's right. There was, yes, but there were processes around that. They didn't do it. They went and checked with you. They checked with me. But in the case that I'm thinking of, it actually happened. The person went out, bought the gift cards, scraped off the things in the back, and and took a photo of those gift cards. That was one that I had to deal with in a previous organization. In our case, in WaTech we had those processes. They double checked. But every agency should be looking at making sure that they have those processes in place. Okay.
I was upset that all those text messages, nobody gave me a gift card. But
yeah. Well, we know you don't need gifts, Bill. So.
But it's an example. It was targeted. It was sophisticated. They actually sent them to some of our new employees.
Mm-hmm.
And that said, well, wait a minute. Why do you want a gift card? So it's happening. The sophistication level is very, very high.
Well, and AI is making that sophistication level even higher, because we used to train people to watch for poor grammar in an email, which often constituted the fact that, or indicated the fact that it might be a phishing email. There were other factors that we trained them to look for, but one that we trained them to look for was poor grammar. AI is making that so much easier because they can run their poor grammar text through an AI engine. It'll come out with a perfectly written email for them. They just add their link and they're good to go. So that's one less thing that people can look for now.
Well, let's see if we have any other questions.
Yes. Any other questions from anyone? There is somebody. Matthew. Rhonda, can we unmute Matthew? Let's see if I can do it.
I think he can unmute himself. I haven't been
Okay.
able to get into meeting options for a week now, so.
There we go. I think we can hear him now.
Yep. Well, so I just wanted to, on behalf of the courts, I wanted to say thanks. Thank you guys for what you do. We don't get the same level of support that all the executive branch agencies do from you, but you make my job a lot easier over here with all the notifications and stuff. We're working through some yesterday. But this stuff hits home because we don't have to look at Nevada for a cyber event because the courts had one less than a year ago. The courts were offline for almost 3 weeks. State Patrol couldn't complete background checks. We found a lot of dependencies that we didn't know were there. And one of the reasons we were able to work through that was, the team at WaTech was letting us know when they saw something strange for us to dig into. So I appreciate the everything you guys do over there, and I'm excited about Cybersecurity Awareness Month.
Great, Matthew. Well, thank you for the compliments. That's part of the collaboration that we work towards with the courts. We'd love to see more collaboration with the courts and the legislative branches, and the other agencies, all of our agencies as well. We do a lot of collaboration with the executive branch agencies, much more than we do with courts and legislative. But we're always here for the courts, the legislative branches, the universities, the community and technical colleges. They can reach out to us. And whenever we hear of an incident within a local municipality, a city, a county, a tribe, we reach out to them and offer our assistance. And we're there for them if they want us to be. So absolutely fantastic.
And I think I got about half the attendees from the courts here today because I sent this out to everyone. So
you get a prize for that, Matthew.
Magnificent.
So Matt, I don't know if it's common knowledge, but that incident you had at the court start with phishing?
No, it didn't start with phishing. It was a user went to a website that they'd used before for research, but the website had been compromised, and then they got malware from a site that they thought was safe, and then it kind of spread from there. And it was a 0-day kind of event, so it was brand new. So it had the potential to be a lot more troubling than it was. But like I said, we were when we thought it was cleaned up and we'd taken care of it. It was those notices from WaTech that were like, "Hey, we're still seeing some weird traffic," that kept us digging into it and helped us get on top of it.
That's great. That we call those a drive-by download, and they used to be much more common than they are, but they still do exist out there. And that's a result of the owner of the website not having their own level of cybersecurity to protect the integrity of their website. That can cause a vulnerability within our environments, and so that's one of the things that we rely on our endpoint protection systems and our other detection systems to help us to identify those and shut them down. Any other questions? Yes. Sorry. Taylor?
Yeah, it's Taylor. I'm over at Sorry about that. I'm over at the Department of Fish and Wildlife. So my question is revolving around AI because we had a recent email not too long ago go to one of our execs where the email pretended to be, a HR third party working with our HR department, sending a document that needed to be reviewed. And through the use of AI and QR codes, they were able to build a very legitimate looking document. And my concern is we had our execs pretty well trained, but what about the average day user or those that are less technologically inclined, where AI is going to be better be used for spear phishing easier targets?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, since you have Jack Potter over there, send him to him. But and I'm sure he'll say something funny. No, that's exactly what we're talking about. And these types of trainings, the annual cybersecurity awareness training that we have available and required for all state employees, we have a phishing simulation platform that can teach people how to identify phishing emails here at WaTech and throughout much of the state, but we don't have sufficient licenses to cover all of the state. And I personally can't recall whether DFW is part of our phish firewall implementation off the top of my head. But some agencies also have their own phishing platform that they train people on. If an agency is interested and they want to have more targeted phishing training, we have the content available to us in our content provider. We can work with an agency to help them to craft a more targeted phishing training in the state's LMS that they can assign to their employees to give them even more training. Phishing is tough because some of them can be so advanced, they target your emotions. I have no problem admitting that I've fallen for phishing training before. Now, fortunately, it was a simulation; it wasn't the real thing, but it grabbed me emotionally, and because it claimed to be a compromise of a platform that I actually personally use. And it got me. And so I clicked on the link. Fortunately, as I said, it was a simulation, but had it not been, I might have been compromised. So phishing is getting so sophisticated and so tough that they grab you. They grab your emotions. They grab you. There are other types of phishing email or phishing simulations called smishing, where you get an SMS text. That one is becoming a very prominent one as well. Or vishing, where you get a voicemail. You get a voicemail that says something like, "Hey, I'm an attorney in Mexico, and your grandson is traveling in Mexico, and I, he's been arrested, and I need $1,000 to get, to pay his bail." That one's becoming very common, and they'll research social media to get information to find out if the grandson actually is traveling in Mexico. They will find out who his grandparents are, and they will contact them, and grandparents are paying that. They're paying those kinds of ransoms, if you will. And the grandson is actually not in jail in Mexico, but they're out $1,000 or $2,000 or sometimes $5,000. These bad guys are getting very, very creative out there. Extremely creative.
Yeah, I will say though, it's such a great point that the gentleman brought up here, is that you can train our executives and go through cyber awareness training and do all the right things, and still the sophistication because of AI and the information that can be gathered around an individual around AI is such that it does look real, and that's what we're up against. So we have to really train in different ways. For instance, what I've learned is if I didn't request something, or I don't, even if it's something I realize that I don't even open the email anymore. I just assume it's not something that I should do. So, I think there's more advanced training we're going to have to do around these types of attacks. I get a lot of text messages now where, hey, somebody withdrew X amount of dollars from your account. Can you verify by clicking on this link? I get those text messages a lot.
Yep.
So they're out there. And the more aware we are and the more training we can provide, the better we're going to be. But it's very difficult.
Yep. I love the emails that I get from Bank of America saying that my account's been compromised, especially because I don't have a Bank of America account. That one really gets me. It's like, where'd you guys get that information? All right. Well, any last questions? We're almost out of time here. So I think we might have time for one more question if there's anybody out there with a question. Going once, going twice. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to challenge you to let's go out and make life miserable for these hackers, these phishers, these bad guys that are trying to get access to our data and our information and our systems. And thanks again. Let's have some fun and have a wonderful Cybersecurity Awareness Month. I want to thank Bill for being here, providing his insights again. And I want to thank Rhonda for helping to control all of the slide changes, all of the technical aspects of this particular presentation. And go out there and have a good time, everybody.
Safe time, not good time, safe time.
Safe time, yes, a safe time, but enjoy yourself doing it.
All right. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.